Sounds great.
All right, I think we're ready to get started. My name is CJ. I'm the board chair, so thank you for coming. Always good to see a good turnout. If you didn't get a raffle ticket, I think I see one person who needs a raffle ticket. Come up to Samir and he'll give you one. If you'll write your name on it and put the one with your name in that basket, we'll do the typical drawing for a free ticket at the end. I don't have a lot to announce. The one thing I wanted to mention is that our Afterburn report is done and published on the website, so feel free to go take a look at that. Sorry it took us a little longer to get it published, but it's out there. And the other thing that we've been working on as a board at our last board meeting is budgeting. So we've gone through like a first pass of what we anticipate the budget to be for next year. Nothing drastically different, and we're not anticipating any ticket price changes. So they should remain the same this year. And I think that's it for me. So, do you want to go next, Tom?
Sure. Cool. Hello, I'm Tom. I'm the art director. Not a whole lot going on in our world right now, except for that the application to build burnable art closes tonight at midnight. We've already extended it once. We're thinking about extending it again, but if anybody's interested in, submitting something for that, reach out. We can probably work with you on a deadline extension if that's a thing that would be useful. We also have the theme art application open right now. It's open through the 31st. That's to design the artwork that'll go on the tickets, the volunteer shirts, the what, when, where guide, kind of everything. It's a cool opportunity to have your art kind of showcased around the event. And that does come with a ticket and a vehicle pass if you are selected to provide the art. The other thing that's coming up here very soon is the art grants. They're going to open sometime in the next 2 weeks. They'll be open for probably right around a month, and then we're going to try to get the art grants processed a little bit quicker and get money out to people a little bit earlier this year. So hopefully that goes to plan. We don't really have any new information about the current effigy and temple that are up at Stargazer right now, but obviously once we have information about that, we'll get it out to the community as soon as we can. So, is there any? I guess we're not any questions.
You can do questions now. No one wrote on the board, so feel free to ask questions.
Any questions?
How many people have put in for Burnable Art so far?
Uno.
Only one. So,
One person.
Yeah.
Well,
So I hope that person's ready to build it. Is that you? Hell yeah.
I wonder who.
Looks great. It looks great. So
Yeah,
yeah,
it is really
we're still looking at options for that. Obviously we'd like to have 2 burns since that was a thing the community requested. So if there are people out there that want
we
to,
could have 3 actually with the
We're
parts
gonna
that
have
still
to
up
hire
there.
if we really wanted to.
we're gonna
Yeah.
figure it out.
Getting unstable.
It's
It's starting to leak.
Oh, no. Okay.
What is?
But it's still burnable, is what you're telling me.
Yeah, I don't really want people around it.
We all have a very big perimeter.
Well, you let it fall and then burn it.
I might not have a choice.
Might not have a choice.
I tighten the ropes every time I go out there.
Cool. Yep. Looking forward to the art this year. Should be good.
Hello, I am Samir. I'm the community director. Let's see. First thing on the docket is we are still searching for a production director to join the board of directors here. The few applications we have received are all out-of-state applications, which will not work. So, preferably somebody in-state. If that's something that interests you, I have a job description on the iPad back there. If you have anybody that might seem like they might be interested,
Shut up.
or anything like that.
I've heard him volunteer 3 times so far.
Beaufort, you're gonna do it?
You already seen him.
Sweet.
You're getting voluntold.
Voluntold.
All in favor? Say
Yeah.
Does he get a golf cart if that's the case?
Don't give him a golf, only on board.
On his board ship, yeah.
After 40 hours of
you get a
training,
golf
they
cart.
get a golf cart.
But we're not giving them a golf club to go with the golf cart.
What? I don't understand.
Just a minute.
Yeah, so just keep that in mind. If anybody you feel like would be good for to express interest in volunteering, like, again, this is community ran and volunteer ran, so info@element11.org. Let's see, the next thing is we are now less than 6 months away, so 2 of my biggest goals for community director is to increase the awareness of the culture around Element 11. And part of that being is, you know, we are volunteer ran, we are community. This event doesn't happen unless we have enough volunteers to help, you know, do perimeter, work the kitchen,
Gate and greeter.
gate and greeter.
Gate and greeter.
And that primarily because like all of us already know what the values are, but there is a large percentage of new members to the community that maybe are not aware of what the 10 principles are and what we mean as a community and what our values are, but you know, like to make art and go to parties and things like that. So like it's just the idea of just aligning their thinking more from a raver mindset to a burner mindset. So that's at the top of my list for the docket for the next 6 months here. And then the last thing is with now the applications are opening and rolling open. Theme camp applications will be opening here in February, aiming for the first week in February. I anticipate a lot more sound camps this year, so this year is probably going to be the first year where I have to give approvals and denials to sound camps. I think that's just along the lines of new people coming in that are part of the raver scene instead of the burner scene, and they don't quite know what to expect. So a lot of aligning with mindset is the idea. So keep an eye out for that. We'll make posts for that. You'll see posts for Illuminate as well if you haven't seen that on the Instagram and Facebook already. And yes, that's all. Any questions?
Can we make sure the pirates are louder? I couldn't find them last time.
Couldn't find them? You couldn't find them over the loudness of the giant octopus camp? Awesome.
My name's Lisa. I'm the financial director.
Hi, Lisa.
Hi, welcome. I don't have anything because my stuff is all just writing checks. But if you have any questions, I try to get checks out to people as fast as I can, but it's not always feasible. So, but other than that, thanks.
She gives us money to do stuff.
I give you money to do stuff.
And not increase our ticket prices.
Exactly.
Oh, hello
Jack.
everybody. My name is Jack and I'm the volunteer director. Oh my God, we have a big task ahead of us this year. I do want to go over some numbers that I had crunched from this previous year, and I gotta be honest, it's not looking great. I think that with the influx of a lot of new participants that don't understand that we are entirely volunteer run, it's really hard for them to find where they would want to spend a little bit of their time or what they can do. So we try to put out some, you know, we did the job fair at Bird Day in the Park last year, which I think was really good, but a lot of the community members that are well versed in what we do already know these kinds of things, so I'm trying to get it, to try to reach further so that we can access like the community as a whole, even newcomers, so that they can understand and get more involved. Just because out of roughly like 2,100 people that we had attend, just in general volunteers, not including safety department, we had 149 people volunteer. That's 6.7%.
That hurt. And Brandon did half
It-
of the hours.
And
Yeah, wait, it gets
It
worse.
gets worse.
Out of those 149 people, 23 people did more than 4 shifts. 23 people.
I got a question though.
Yeah.
So was that including all the people that didn't show up because of the storms? Because there's a lot.
No, this is just recorded. This is just recorded hours. And I did still give credit to everybody that signed up and showed up to work that fire perimeter shift, even though we didn't burn. So this includes that as well. But that's really bad. 23 people. It's no wonder that we're experiencing burnout. It's no wonder that people are just like stepping down and we have nobody to fill their shoes. I don't know, I guess like take somebody under your wing that maybe doesn't know what we do or like what areas we need help with. Speaking of that, we are combining gate and greeters into one shift because it's been very hard to fill both of those. So instead of it being two separate departments, we're combining them so that it's just going to be one shift. You can kind of float between where we're going to check people in and also like where greeters hang out. Yes?
I'm just wondering if everybody took one shift,
Yeah.
what percentage of people would we need to go?
If everybody took one shift, I mean, right now we had 212 shifts, so only 212.
10%.
So 10%, yeah, yeah. So the amount of hours that were left unworked, so let's say like we had shifts in each department that nobody worked at all, that was the equivalent of 19.6 free tickets for 2026. So it takes 35 hours to accrue a free ticket and vehicle pass. That's almost 20 free tickets we could have given away had people shown up to those shifts. Okay, and then besides that, I mean, you know, there's certain departments that struggle more than others, but it's like, you know, find what you enjoy, and we can always like work around it, and there's definitely spots for everybody. It's just, it's becoming exponentially harder to put this on and you know, show up for our community when you feel like you're the only one there doing it. And yeah, I just want to reiterate that it's vital to the community.
Which departments do we have the hardest time filling?
Right now it's looking like Burning Angels did pretty well. EPW struggled a little. ICE was full. Center Camp, I think it's because Center Camp kind of like runs its own thing. I'm not sure if they like needed more hands or if they're.
Oh, we do.
Yeah,
we
yes.
Will,
I mean,
we will get that figured out.
Yeah. And then yeah, Hub Deli's usually full. Moop is pretty good. I would say we have some vacancies that it's noticeable, like in the lounge, like those kitchen shifts, and then just gate.
More of the Friday, Saturday shifts.
Yeah, gate and greeters.
That was very much the storms, because
yeah.
and then a lot of those shifts, like we went over to Fire Tribe. Fire Tribe just ran and just started doing all the shifts,
yeah.
and didn't type in their names. So
yeah.
when we actually talk to people, they're willing to step up. They just don't want to go and download all those apps and do all this shit.
Right. And I am. Oh, do you have a question?
Oh, yeah. So what I've noticed is that like at the Sophistifiers, for instance, when people are super engaged, they're always like, "How can I help? What can I do?"
Yeah.
And I get that all the time.
Yeah.
And what I realized is like, I think what it really is like a lot of these people that want to help just don't know how and access.
Yeah.
So I think that having like during the event, like a team that walks around every day that literally just goes and talks to everybody and saying, hey, here's what we need help with tomorrow. Here's what do you want to sign up right now? Right?
Yeah.
And actually engaging with them on their on their property rather than having them have to go to the building and all this stuff. Right?
Yeah.
Like that, because it's insane the amount of people that want to help
that just don't know.
But just don't know.
Yeah, that's so real and really, really fair. Yeah, we can definitely get like Burning Angels out to do that on top of what they're already doing and just kind of visit camps.
Yeah. I've seen regionals where when you're signing up for the ticket, they like try to tell you like you need to sign up for at least one volunteer shift.
Yeah, we're considering doing that as well, just because or having some.
You can't click purchase.
The goal for this year is so that it's a tall order because it takes me a very long time, but I'm planning on having like all of the shifts ready, at least general volunteer department shifts ready by the time ticket sales go live. So that way it's linked, and that way people can just like peruse, see what's available, get a little bit of information on it, think on it, but that way they're immediately linked and they can just kind of explore it then while they're thinking about it.
I know specifically at Center Camp that we have issues logging hours before you guys even get there because we're
Right.
showing up like Monday, Tuesday.
Right.
We're already like 25, 30 hours deep into build, and then you guys have like no way for us to log hours until the internet's up, and
Right.
sometimes it isn't working, and then like I can't feed my crew because they all of a sudden don't know like how many hours have been tracked, and that is just something that needs to get resolved kind of for Center
I
Camp
do
side.
have kind of a solution that it may work. I was thinking about every day for each department, whether it's Center Camp, Hug Deli, whoever, just printing out.
Well, that's
a
what I
sheet.
was gonna say. Could I like keep track of their
Yes,
hours
yes,
specifically, and then
please
just hand
do.
you that
Yeah,
whole hour
I-
log, and then that's like solved
Yeah.
instead of having to
Yes.
fight all that?
Yeah, there's just a couple of things that I need from each department is name, email, time in, time out.
Okay, perfect.
So, yeah.
Name, department.
Yeah, and it would be
Time
nice to have like, okay, shift, that's why I was thinking about for each day, let's say all of Monday's shifts, what it is, what time to what time,
Yes,
boom, 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 boom,
perfect.
boom.
That's exactly what I needed to
That-
know. 'Cause
yeah.
That would streamline it for both of us,
Right.
and it would be so much
And that
easier
way, like, it's
way.
easy, you know what to put in, I just hand you the pages, and then you fill it out as you need.
Yes, and then I can just return them filled out, and then we don't
Yeah.
have to sit there and fight that, because I have people who are like missing hours because they came and helped out on, tear down day, because it's
Yeah.
double hours at Center Camp, and those like you guys were gone by the time
Yeah.
we were torn down.
Yeah.
So it was really hard for us to like communicate hour wise.
Right. I mean, in theory, like, Rosterify is supposed to be like, a great tool, but in practice, especially with how remote we are, it's just a little unfeasible. So I think just using those sheets to kind of supplement that, I think, because then it would just be computer work post-event for me,
Exactly.
and then nobody else has to deal with it, because the amount of people, Diane, Devin,
Right.
Janice, through the event is like fucking with the computer, and I'm
Right.
like, ah,
No, I
stop!
get it.
Yeah,
That's
so,
why it's down half.
They're
yeah,
putting in the
exactly.
paper ones.
I know,
They're
but
putting
I
the
don't
paper
even
ones.
want, I wanna just make it simpler for everybody.
I also feel like it's a false sense of it's already filled. If you look on there and let's say I had that happen where people were coming up and they wanted to help, but it showed that shift was not available, but yet nobody was doing it.
Okay, yeah.
And so I feel like if you had some place where people could go check, where people could actually say, hey, if you go look at this paper copy, they're short staffed because this person never showed up, but
Yeah.
you can't actually go and do that. And so if you reroute somebody to like maybe a master, cause then people know where to look, because I
Yeah.
mean, like the rangers know they can go and look in the ranger area, but
Right.
like if there was short staff, like people were asking all the time, they
Yeah.
were coming in saying, hey, can I help? And you're like, I don't know where else is needed, other than I know that there were places that they weren't available on Rustify, but
Right.
they were not.
I
They
know,
were definitely
it-
short staffed.
It's like, I want it to be the perfect system and I want it to work so bad, but it's just like, it's just headache after headache, and I'm just trying to like find the workarounds and make it work for everybody, because right now there's definitely some pitfalls with that, and it's just like.
Doing great.
And especially with it being like down in Center Camp, if nobody shows up,
Yeah.
and you have a master in the volunteer lounge where everyone's checking, unless somebody comes up and says, hey, this person didn't show up, we're short, if you get anybody, send them down. It's like we need a runner that's gonna be running
But then
and
who
checking.
does that, like,
Exactly.
so.
Oh, that's a shift you can
Yeah.
fill, a
Yeah.
runner. That could be your job.
Well,
maybe there's a way to help you.
You're a runner now.
Don't we have like radios or something like that?
And maybe a
Soul
That's what I'm doing. I'm getting a whole radio pack for Center Camp, so I might just bring you guys a radio so we can just talk.
keep, yeah.
Us a direct line.
Yeah, cause I feel like there is a bit of like,
Too much running. We've got modern technology.
yeah, we have solutions, we just.
Yeah.
Yes, oh my god, yes.
So, I know it's a unique animal, but like in medical this last year, because we had so many slots in that, we went to 6-hour shifts.
Mhm.
And I mean, people were still signing up for back-to-back shifts,
Yeah.
For 12 hours at a time. But maybe look at some,
Like combining.
a little bit longer longer shifts because they're going, I don't wanna just go for 4 hours, I mean, before they were signing up for 12 hours of time anyway into the medical, and it worked out really good because we didn't have near as many people that we had to deal with, but we're still getting the same coverage throughout the time.
Yeah, I feel like it's a little different because, like you said, it's a different animal.
It is.
Like, and the people in medical, like, they're just like that. They're just like that.
Some of them had no clue. They had no idea what they were doing till they
Yeah,
did it.
yeah, and I feel like with a lot of general volunteer shifts, especially if we're pushing for more like newcomers to I feel like, because a lot of our shifts were either 2 or 3 hours.
Yeah.
And then I switched a lot of them to just be 2-hour blocks, and then you can always do back-to-back shifts.
Yeah.
But it was a little bit less daunting for somebody to be like, oh, I can donate 2 hours of my time, and then, you know, see if I like it, see what I've got to do. But I feel like I don't want to deter newcomers away from volunteering by having a longer time commitment. Just because if it is their first time, I want them to feel, you know, like they can enjoy things, they can walk around, they don't have to spend every hour volunteering. But I think 2 hours isn't a whole lot to ask of somebody to just. I know,
Just like volunteering those small little hours, and it's just like, oh, my shift's over already.
Right, and I understand like some time slots are more, seem better than others, you know, because like there's stuff going on and you wanna see, you wanna enjoy. But I mean, at the end of the day, so what, one other thing with gate and greeters, if we don't have gate and greeters, if we don't have that combined shift filled, we're closing the gate. So this is something that we've talked about, and if we don't have people
we've had to have rangers jump in
right.
to fill in to keep gate open.
Right, so we're
More
just
than
gonna
once.
figure out a solution to close it, yes.
I'm actually not opposed to that.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking, like, if you pulse it on the hour and send somebody up there just to pulse it, just so you know it's gonna move, but then they shut everything off, so they're not thinking, oh, it's 5, 10, 15. You just say, hey, we're gonna pulse this. The only thing I'd say is that for security reasons, keeping the road clear, if you're going to close gate down, where are they going to be? And that would be the only thing I would ask you guys to think about.
Yeah, we're actually gonna be talking with the owners about.
They're assholes.
They're total jerks to deal with, I know, but.
We've budgeted, I think, $5,000 to see if there would be possibility of building a gate, some sort of actual gate to slide.
Yeah,
to slide and close.
So we need to coordinate with you guys on that. But we have put some money away to actually build a gate.
Yeah, we can move the gate.
I know.
Yeah, but like, it's a little bit more. It's a little bit more of a deterrent. Yeah.
So we just go for a gate and drive off.
One thing that I had in mind is I feel like a lot of the theme camps we have a lot of volunteers already, right, dedicated to our internal theme camps.
Right.
But what I found is a lot of us are like, why would I go do a 1 4-hour shift? It's not going to get me anywhere near a free ticket or a discounted ticket.
But
right?
it gets you other stuff. So,
that's true, but what I'm saying is, and this also leads to something that I did want to bring up, and sorry if it's not supposed to be brought up now, but I think that if we can alleviate some of the main core builders in these theme camps of getting half-off tickets, free tickets, I think it would allow them to feel more inclined to be like, okay, you know what, I'm willing to take a 1 4-hour shift for this, and engage with the Element 11 side of volunteering rather than just our theme camp side. Because when we're putting in 20, 30 hours just in that week, let alone throughout the year, and not getting any sort of tickets, right, or half-off tickets, it just makes us feel like, hey, you know what? Let's focus on what we got to do, and if we've got time, So like there are some, like for instance, in Fistfires, there are some volunteers that do go put in some of those hours, right? But I think we could get more if we did some sort of hybrid where a lot of these builders that are building throughout the year for theme camps and stuff do get to participate in this ticket system for volunteers.
We have done something like this in the past. The reason it's like, this is a little bit of a different scenario, but the reason why we don't really offer like same year kind of like ticket discounts except for dedicated to those people that put in the work last year is because we can't guarantee that they are going to volunteer.
And I'm not even saying same year, I'm just saying future year, right?
Okay.
So for instance, you know, if you can show that you're a dedicated builder for Cicadia or Lost Highway or some of these bigger things where we can clearly tell and it can get notated that you put in 100+ hours throughout the year for this theme camp, then what if all you need to do is do 1 4-hour shift or 2, you know, 4-hour shifts to get that free ticket next year, right? Because now you're showing that you are participating and you are getting those perks without having to put in the 20 plus hours.
But then you end up with all these people putting in all these hours for their theme camps, getting their tickets, and they're still not volunteering for the event itself. And if we don't have the volunteers for the event, we don't have an event for anybody to bring their theme camps to.
No, I agree. And I think there's a checks and balance to make sure that it doesn't get
and who's going to be in charge of that?
Egregiously used, fraudulently used. But I do think that we as theme camps and our cars and artists, like we do have our own internal checks and balance that we would submit, for instance, to you guys, and we would hold that accountable, right? So we're not like taking advantage of this, but I do think that there is something to say about a lot of these artists. They're getting art grants, but those art grants aren't going to paying for their ticket. Right? It's going for the art.
Yeah.
And these artists are putting in hundreds of hours throughout the year and the event, and they don't have the time or resources to even contribute to the Element 11 volunteering side, right? But then most of them still do. But they might not have enough hours to get that half-off ticket or free ticket, right? So how do we like hybrid that to where there's a possibility for more perks and more engagement?
Yeah, I think it kind of ties into tracking time, and if we can get some sort of standard template to give out to these different departments and also to theme camps to be tracking that time over, you know, over the course of the year, or at least like just build week, right? Because that's almost enough hours, I would imagine. You know, if you're out there.
And I'm not saying let's put something in place where we're taking away from volunteers working for the Element 11 volunteer pipeline, right? I'm saying how do we add more volunteers?
And I think there's some sort of,
there's a big group of artists and builders that could donate 2, 4, 6 hours throughout that event, knowing that those 2, 4, 6 hours is going to get them that 50% off ticket, or
if we can somehow figure out
of the 100+ hours
an equation of like, you've done this many hours as a build at this theme camp, we're going to now give you like, you just need half the amount of time to get a free ticket, right? On the Elemental.
A lot of these times, these people are spending all their time providing experience at their theme camp. They can't volunteer. And that makes, like when we build the effigies, we have to build it, maintain it, burn it, clean it, and take it home. And we don't have enough time to do all these hours to get our tickets, so we're screwed when we build an effigy.
That is really a really interesting point, and I think that there could be some type of solution. I don't know right now. I'd have to like workshop it and figure out like what it would look like, I guess.
I think, and again, it really stems on top of this concept of, you know, art grants are going out for art. But then, you know, it's interesting when we're hearing through the grapevine that like Center Camp has all these free tickets they're giving out, right? Not a lot, but they're giving out free tickets, and we're hearing about what people are getting for those free tickets, and we're, as artists and builders, we're over here like, we didn't get free tickets, but we got art grants. But that doesn't tie into the same, right? They're separated. And so if there's this like alleviation tool where it's like, as artists, builders, if we're like, hey, yes, the org is seeing our efforts separate from the art grant, and seeing that we're volunteering, right? I certainly I know that. But then, hey, you know what? That cherry on top is like, we just do 2 more hours, 4 hours, 6 hours, whatever it may be, to just kind of like finish that off, that free ticket or half-off ticket. I think that increases this big group that already is putting a lot of hours, that wants to put in those 2 hours, believe it or not. We want to alleviate your guys' stress of not having these things filled, but in our eyes, it's hard for us to alleviate a 2-hour, 4-hour shift when
Yeah.
all we can do is one
Yeah.
2-hour, 4-hour shift.
Yeah.
It's just not gonna get us any,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
how do we kind of like
Meet in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Just adding a voice, like running a smaller theme camp, I noticed that a lot of my people didn't volunteer.
Right.
As a result of the effort they were putting into the camp, right, we're not big, we didn't put a ton of effort, but to them it felt like it wasn't, it felt like enough, and they weren't volunteering.
Right.
So I've been thinking about this myself, that's a really compelling idea.
Yeah. And it's like you guys, it's, how do I even put this into words? Like, it's so important to have you there in the first place, and I don't want to add to anybody's, I know how much goes into it, and I know how stressful it can be, and it's like we're already kind of like scrambling for time and energy and.
I think to his point though,
Yeah.
I think we can add
That's-
a little bit. And
Yeah,
I think
we
that
can.
little bit
Yeah.
of incentive would encourage people to
Bring
go
people over
that
the
route.
line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll add a couple- I'll add a few
Having
hours,
run
whatever
theme
that is.
camps
Yeah.
myself as well, we, Sofa Kingdom,
Kill everybody.
but there's also, and I mean, I love my people as well, but there's a lot of them that go and yes, they put in hours to put it up and stuff, but they spend a lot of time playing when a 2-hour here or there would easily fit in if they were pushed just a little bit to contribute to the community,
Well, I
because
think
if
he's
without
not
the community,
Yeah, I don't think he's
We're
saying.
talking about the core members.
Yeah, he's not
No,
saying all
no,
of
I
them, just
know.
the core
I
people
know.
that actually put in a
I
lot
know,
of hours.
I know, I'm saying
Yeah.
just my
Because-
piece of,
because those people that you're talking
Yeah.
about, they do. We have people that do medical and civic
yeah,
stuff.
oh yeah,
We have
I know
people
you,
that
I know you guys do,
data
I'm just saying that,
Right.
just in my own group, I know there are those few that are there to
Exactly.
party
So what
and
I'm
not
saying
do
is-
the
is-
volunteering,
is
and I'd
why
like
not-
to
why
get
not
those
give-
people out.
Why not give some of these options to the leaders in these core groups, and then that way you don't get that, right?
Right.
The leaders that actually take accountability. to
I
these.
think
Yeah,
that
I think
a
that's,
good
I think it's a
solution-
really good idea.
Yeah, a good solution would be
Because the
have
leaders are
each
the ones that
theme
need to do the
camp,
pushing.
you know, be in charge of deciding who their core builders are. Write me a list, submit it for each theme camp, and then I can keep track if you guys are doing whatever hours, and then I can kind of cross-check
Yeah.
and then go from there.
Discount
Exactly,
the threshold from
Right,
there.
right.
Yeah, because
So-
we don't want what you're saying to happen, right?
Yeah,
And that's
and-
not the point. The point
yeah.
is every core group has a very small 10% of core people
Right.
that could put that extra 2, 4, 6 hours.
Right.
And that do deserve that half off or free ticket.
Yeah, so
Right?
you know best as, you know, whoever the camp mayor is, or, you know, whoever's the most involved with the people that are volunteering, write me up a list of who these people are, and then that way, if they do those shifts, whatever we decide on, then we can,
Exactly.
we
Yeah,
can-
every theme camp has their own board.
Right.
Right. Every theme camp has you guys.
Yeah.
Within the theme camp, every art car has you guys. Not as good, of course, but you know, it's efficient. But they have you guys, right? So it's not that.
Get
so
that
it's
brown
not
off your nose.
It's not that we're gonna take away from the people that need to still volunteer.
Right.
We're just adding to.
yeah, and there's plenty of hours to be snatched up, so it's like, we're not gonna
Yeah.
run out of.
And I can tell you, those core leaders in every single theme camp and art car and our installation team, we hear that we need more things done, and we're like, man, I do have 2 to 6 hours, but it just doesn't give me,
Yeah,
right? And so I can tell you, those are the people that
yeah.
will fix those gaps.
yeah.
Because they want to.
Yeah, and I'm all for incentivizing the community the way that they need it to be, so that we can kind of like meet in the middle and just, you know, everybody is happy. Like, that's,
We have a board
Ideally.
meeting tomorrow that we can start
Yeah.
chatting about some of like the
I've been
mechanics
writing
of that.
notes down.
Sweet.
Yeah, and share it out.
Yeah.
I think it's a really good idea.
And that, and again, that
It's
alleviates the art grants having to be spent for, and again,
Tickets,
I
yeah.
know 90% of the art grants don't get spent on tickets, right? And
Right.
probably more than that. So that alleviates this other issue that's at hand is like, you know, we're giving out art grants to these artists, and these artists aren't getting free tickets because they can't have enough time to volunteer for free tickets, right? So
Yeah.
we're alleviating 2 issues at once, right?
yeah,
Just something else to have stemming in the back of your mind is the So we're trying to do everything we can with the increasing costs of everything in the world, permits, things like that, personal items, to not increase our ticket prices. The more discounts we give, then the less income we have for the following year's
Right.
E11.
No, absolutely, but
Just
if it's like an earned
but it's
ticket
not, but on
within,
an,
like, our
on an
threshold,
accounting
right?
scale, it's not a one-to-one value.
Yeah.
So you're saying discounts. These people are already coming, and therefore, and already possibly getting tickets, right? It has nothing to do with losing out on income. It's just helping out the people that are already there, because in all reality, like, giving away more free tickets to, again, just the core group of theme camps and artists does not take away any income stream from the event. It really doesn't, because you can still add those same amount of tickets that you gave away. You could go get by just upping another 100 cap on the attendance, right?
That is assuming we can, though.
Yeah.
I'm not disagreeing. I hear everything you're saying. I'm just putting things out that we have to think about.
Because we don't have enough volunteers.
But it's
So we're
specific
not willing to
volunteers,
give
which is
those
why we can't
volunteers
increase the
tickets.
volume.
Right, so you see the conundrum.
We have wherever we give to, we have to take away from something else. It's just a balancing act. I just want to put into the mind of people. Like, I hear you and I agree. We should
have
definitely
enough
do
money
everything
in the
we
savings
can.
account and in the coffers to facilitate 100 tickets throughout the event to the core people to add 100 hours of volunteers.
Yeah, but we didn't sell out, so we can't just add more ticket sales and pray that we sell out more. We didn't sell out last year or the year before.
It's not a matter of selling out. We need to increase volunteer hours. And we have enough money in the coffers to alleviate 100 tickets to go out to those core members that do deserve it, that will add 100 hours of service.
Totally. Yeah, it's just a matter of tracking it and like coming up with those mechanisms. But.
Okay. Oh, yes.
Have we historically had problems with volunteers as much as this?
Oh, yeah.
It's always been
but now we're
a
tracking
problem,
it, so
but
now we have numbers.
We're being a little
and
bit
it's a little
more
bit more stark than we originally
intentional
thought.
about it.
So it's like
It's been a steady decline over the last few years.
Oh,
That's
no,
what I'm wondering.
it's always
like,
been a shit
because
show.
we haven't been tracking, we don't know what the decline is, but it gets you have a general sense that there is a decline.
Yes.
Are we committed to using Rostify at this point?
Okay.
Ask her how many hours she spent with all the papers and the notebooks that she would have to tally up without Rostify.
So we're talking about more papers and
You're talking about more hours. Sorry,
Well-
Jack, but it's true.
Okay, so when I first stepped on, we experimented with time counts. That was a huge bust.
Yeah.
Rosterify has been quite a bit better than that. And for general volunteers, I would say it's mostly beneficial for after, like, post-event consolidation, if people are recording their hours in and out as they go. But what it really is useful for is the safety department. So the safety department, like, all the trainings are on there, and it's just kind of streamlined that whole process in order to become a sanctuary volunteer, become a ranger, do sanctuary shifts. And I can't take that from the safety department. It's just like, it's solved a lot of issues that we've run into in the past. Even though it hasn't done a whole lot for general volunteer shifts, it does leaps and bounds for the safety department. And I think that with, because when we did the big book of shifts, like when we did do it on paper, right, but for people that don't know, it was one person's name on one sheet of paper, and I'm like, this is thousands of sheets of paper. I'm not fucking touching this. I'm not doing it. So if we have each department each day, it's only going to be like 50 pages instead of thousands of sheets. And then it's easier for my brain to kind of just, go down the list and plug it in. And so that way I feel like we can kind of meet in the middle. I hand over, the Hub Deli 3 or 4 pages to Becca and let her deal with it. And then same thing with like center camp and with, every general volunteer department, and then it's like, hopefully it kind of bridges that gap. But
I guess one of my alternatives would be just like even Excel. You can control permissions for.
We did do that once, but it still didn't solve a whole lot of problems.
It seems like we need at least some way to see who's on what shifts. And
The-
I don't know that Rostrify does that.
Yeah, right. I think the most ideal solution in a perfect world is to have some angel make us our own personalized system just for E11 from scratch. But nobody could do that.
I want to talk about that.
Okay, sweet. Yeah.
But isn't there a laptop that's stationed at medical? There's one at Ranger. Isn't there one in the kitchen?
There is not in the
But
kitchen.
there's
We can get a
No,
laptop.
there was one in the kitchen.
Not a laptop.
Not a
But
laptop.
there's
But a tablet.
So
yes, there's
if
two.
you have somebody, if you're writing down these names once a day,
You
somebody
plug
can
it in.
just go log it into the computer. It's really not rocket science. Everybody needs to be
It's
held
not-
accountable.
It is
Right.
on acid.
Well, you need to be sober while volunteering.
Shut up.
That's in our.
Signing up for your volunteership.
What? I didn't read that.
Yeah.
And it
So.
comes down to people
This is why
not
you don't
wanting
get a golf
to, not wanting to take the initiative to put their name down, and they're still saying, "Hey, I still did this." Well, we can't track.
I can't
this.
track you, but we already say that to people. The people that don't write their name down either on paper with, the blank notebooks that we have for different departments, we keep in the lounge just in case the system goes down on the tablet. We count those, and anybody else that's like doesn't record or anything or doesn't speak to anybody and just does, I don't know, fucking twiddle their thumbs and say that I did blah blah blah. I'm not counting it, and I haven't, and it's just we rarely run into that issue because the people that care about their hours are going to make sure
Yeah,
that they're
people need to be held accountable. Like,
right.
You
And
can't complain
it's-
and bitch that something's not being done if you're not willing to do it yourself.
It's less of people not wanting to do it, and it's more of the actual system bugging out and not letting them do it, even when they're standing there and they're waiting and they're waiting
And
and
that's
they're
why
like,
if we have some paper timestamp, like
Right.
standardized form that we can leave at each of those areas.
right,
to
that
make
was
it
the
quicker.
plan, for sure.
I mean, I downloaded the app 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Before I even left for Stargazer.
Yeah.
And never had an issue.
Right.
Log in.
I know, but some people are really bad at technology.
Yeah,
and
some
other
people don't like
don't
technology and
yeah,
don't use
and some
it,
people
but we
don't.
won't name names.
Some people don't even like have their phone on them, or even that's like their time to unplug and all these. I get it, digital detox and all that, but.
Can we get one of those old time?
Punch card. I thought about that. That would be,
Just
and then you
have
like
one
keep your card, but
Get a punch card.
What
No,
if there's a hanging
no,
Chad?
no,
Do we count
no.
it or we don't count it?
Having had employees who punch over their own time over and over and over again and then try to decipher
I
that,
think
no.
people don't know how to do that these days.
I would laugh my ass
That
off.
sounds harder than an iPhone.
Yeah. Yes.
So I've been listening to the discussion, and I think what I'm hearing is, like Chase and several people have brought up, is we're raising ticket prices.
We're not raising
No, we're
tickets.
not.
You came in late.
Let me finish. Don't get defensive yet. Let me finish my thought process. So over the years, we've raised ticket prices, but we haven't decreased the amount of hours it takes to get a free ticket. So what we're asking people is, hey, come work for us for 35 hours, which is about $6 an hour. To come, hey, spend your vacation working 35 hours to get a free ticket to the event you're already paying a bunch of money to come to. So what I'm hearing from like Chase is we need to incentivize, we need to reward our volunteers, not punish them, because $6 an hour is just, fuck you, I'm not working. Yeah, that's not, I mean, basically it's like,
I work
come
all year long.
up with a new number, let's say like 25 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's say something.
We could
that's
crunch the numbers
realistic.
and see what that looks like, because right now here, I have it right here. The people that, let's see.
Cause like,
Yeah, because Matt
like,
missed all that.
I went to the
When we
gate a
first
couple of
started-
times, yeah, so the other question I had is, how many of you brought a new person to the event in the last 3 years?
Yeah.
How many? So, here's what, when I started coming to L11, the statement was, bring one, teach one,
Yeah.
right? So I had 7 volunteers come, or 7 new people come to my camp this year. I made them all sign up for volunteer shoots. it was like a 4-hour shift, great, they didn't get a free ticket, it doesn't matter. But they had a ball, now they're all hooked, now they're all like, shoot, when do we sign up?
Yeah.
Right, so if we give our camps that incentive of, hey, come work 25 hours during the week, or if they're a big theme camp, 10 hours.
Yeah.
Right, hey, come do 2 shifts somewhere, it doesn't matter where, it doesn't matter if you're cleaning up garbage.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Right.
We just need to make it worth their time because
I
we're
agree.
asking people to spend a lot of money.
I know.
The ranch is not an easy place.
Yeah.
You know, it's like food's not cheap. You know, we shouldn't be turning away volunteer from the volunteer kitchen because they don't have the right pot. We throw so much fucking food away every year. Like, that shouldn't even be a discussion.
It
If you
shouldn't.
come volunteer for 2 hours, come fucking eat.
Yeah.
Yeah, just come do it.
Well, that's why we do the meal pods now.
Right.
So that people can.
But a lot of people don't grab them, or you know,
Yeah.
so it's like they show up, and
Yeah.
I've been standing there, and I'm like, here, take my plate.
Yeah.
You know, like it doesn't. We have to incentivize our volunteers, or they will not
Yeah.
sign up.
And
Well,
we
let's
also
not
have to
act
have
like
guest
everybody's
chefs.
trying to take advantage
sign
of
up
the system.
so that we can
really
get
Everybody's
You know, you
here
should
at this
probably
event for a reason.
Were you guys there last year when we actually kitchen ran out of food, so the volunteers that actually couldn't eat because we didn't have enough food? I mean, that does happen.
No,
There has been people that are not volunteering that have been eating in the kitchen that we've caught multiple times.
Yeah.
Well, and we
So,
do have
I'm
offenders.
just
We do
saying.
have offenders that do that. That's fair.
But most people are here for good
90%
intentions.
Yeah.
They are.
The right reasons, I totally agree.
Yeah,
They're
it's
there for the right
it's the
reason.
concept of like over-regulating on to stop 2% of
Right.
the population.
And there's no need to do
And that
that.
over-regulates
We're all
98% of the population that
Yeah.
actually is
Right.
doing the job.
Right.
But
Of course, if we
on that
can't
same
get
note-
cooks to cook the food.
Right. That
No,
we didn't
the
have
kitchen,
enough.
the kitchen is changing this year.
You're right.
I have a 20-foot shipping container and build it in an onboard kitchen that is
Nice.
airtight.
But
All the
Matt-
things has the right things, so we're fixing some of the problems, but we need to make it easy.
Yeah.
We need to make it easy for our volunteers to literally just sign up because they're like,
Yeah.
that's so worth it, I can do 25
Yeah.
hours in a year.
Yeah, and I was talking to Jenny, like, I think that, you know, if a theme camp wanted to do a guest chef shift, like, they make enough, we pay for the food.
Right.
You don't have to buy the food, we'll buy it, you cook whatever you want, your favorite meal.
The kitchen's definitely been a thorn for about 10 years.
I know, but then it's like, any extras, if there are, you take them back to your theme camp. And then you
Or
feed your
just
people. Or the
randomly out of
Or
that
randomly.
It
Yeah.
doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Let's just not, because we literally hauled 2 dump trailers full of, like, wasted food.
Well, better
garbage.
yet, take that food to the artists
Right.
and builders that aren't going there because they don't
Right.
have time.
Right.
And feed the people that are volunteering.
Well, that's
Be
what
like
Burning
a-
Angels are
like an
supposed to
angel?
do.
I've taken
Yeah, so
food to the
angel team
Pirates
just
multiple
needs to know
times.
they-
Yeah, the
Yeah.
angel team needs to take the food and do it.
Right.
Whoa.
Whenever we have leftovers, we take it out and try to give it away.
It's true. It's true.
I will say, going back to your, like adjusting those hours, obviously I've been grandfathered into that system of like 10 hours is 25%,
Right.
20 hours, 50, 35, free ticket. 35 is steep. And the people, I think it's been pretty steady over the past 3-4 years. It's been about 20 people that earn that 35 hour, that hit it. And that's only like 20 free tickets that we give away. So we can definitely play with that and then see what happens, and because
Honestly,
I want to
honestly,
incentivize
think
it more than
if you-
anything.
If you knocked it down to 20, we'd probably give away 300 tickets.
I know, and that's where it's like, well, if
But that 300 tickets brings in numerous amount of things that we don't have right now.
right,
Right, if we could get 300 people to volunteer for 20 hours, we'd have more people than we'd ever need.
yeah,
Right? And what would happen is those 300 people would be bringing their buddies and saying, hey, sign up with these 20. We would have, like we need to make it so that the volunteer ticket's more valuable than the
Yeah.
ticket they're buying.
right,
It's that simple.
yeah.
Like,
Well,
I-
we
They
do
do that,
for, yeah,
They do.
yeah,
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think we can definitely look at the thresholds and,
yeah, because we've not talked about that before, and it's like, I always thought it was super steep, I'm like,
Well,
I'm not doing that.
Well, it used to be
You know.
steeper.
And you
Yeah,
figure
well,
35
There's been
hours
a lot
during
of
the
festivals
event.
that I've gone
That
to.
is kind of hard to get.
it does
Yeah.
count, I do count all the
But I
free
have
events
fun.
that we
Yeah.
have.
But there's not as many opportunities.
It's still a lot.
I'm usually 30, I'm the 35
Yeah.
hours.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
But I have fun.
I know, but like, yeah, I want to make it more accessible, and I'm hearing Like, these are all really great points,
48
and
hours last year.
I'm willing to like find a
Well,
solution.
and so some of the festivals I've done in the past is,
during
you sign up for all your shifts and you pay for your ticket up front. And then if you come in and you do your actual hours, they just give you refund the money.
They used to
That
do
alleviates
that.
the next year problem.
Yeah, that alleviates a whole bunch of problems. Because you pay for your ticket, and then if you decide you don't wanna show up for your shifts, you're screwing yourself and you're screwing the people you're signing up for. So next year you're off the list. You don't get to do that, right? So.
It would be a lot more back end stuff.
It would be a little more back end.
Yeah, but it'd save the front end problem.
Yeah, but bringing a bunch of cash.
Potentially.
You don't have you're no longer dealing cash, right? So everybody has a Venmo, but you don't refund it right away. You literally, once you're done with the shift and everything's signed off and everything is good, 2 weeks. Hey, when I do an Amazon credit, it takes 14 days to credit me. You know, so.
And guys, we're only talking about getting 10% of.
Yeah.
But do you mean for people that, okay, so let's say like they do their hours, they get refunded, but then they don't get a discount on next year's stuff?
No, exactly, but next year they're gonna sign up because that was
Now
working.
they're engaged.
That was
Okay.
working, now they're doing it.
So that would be rewriting our entire volunteer policy.
But it's
Great,
simplified,
it would
it dumbs
certainly
it
solve
down.
the issue.
But that also,
Well,
means
maybe.
you
You
got
don't know
the
that
money
for
up
sure.
front. There's a lot of people that don't have the money up front.
Right.
And so but I get it because you have to buy your ticket now.
But,
blah, blah, blah.
but a lot of those people like, that don't have the money up front are
Right.
working for.
Yeah, but if we
camp.
can get 10 people to buy into this new program, that gives us 30 times 10, 15 hours times 10, that gives us 150 hours. How many hours do we need to fill? Okay, we're getting closer to
211.
solving this
That's
issue.
shifts, not hours.
And one solution isn't gonna solve the issue, we need several that get implemented.
I think that a
tackle it
good
slowly.
process would be to implement some, just so that we can kind of like ease into it and see what works instead of changing it all together and like, it's a little bit chaotic.
So let's do 100 shifts, that you prepay for your ticket, and if you show up for all your shifts, we refund your ticket.
Well, think about it.
Yeah, something like, just pick a number, put it in place, and let's make it work this year. See if it works. If it doesn't work, we don't have to do it next year.
I know, and it's like, so do you like, do you sign, like, yeah, how do we figure out which one?
That is a roster by thing. So that only works if you use roster by and then you sign up and you give your date, and then at the end of your shift, you're signed off, right?
I like brought this up, I brought this up in a previous board meeting, I think it was like 2 meetings ago, and I remember Janice saying something about, we used to do something like this, but stopped because something just wasn't working.
Well, I think.
What's that something?
It's the trackability.
Well, I don't remember right now, cause Janice isn't here.
I think our technology is excelled. I think we're in a spot where we can do this.
Yeah.
We can actually.
I
measure
just
this.
can't do it myself,
Well,
and I haven't.
have some people that are financial people that would be happy to volunteer for this.
Jared.
Yeah.
Hey, can we have you guys like write down your ideas and that, and then submit it to us, so
He's taking
that we've
notes.
got
Yeah,
it?
Eric's taking notes. Yeah.
But just so that we're completely clear though.
Yeah.
I just have a newbie comment. Last year was my first time.
Sweet.
And, like, I don't mind paying for a ticket.
Yeah.
But I don't think I could have gotten anywhere near 35 hours.
Yeah.
But I would have done 4 or 8 hours for a T-shirt or a hat or a
Yeah.
mug that says
Yeah,
I'm 11
yeah.
or something like
And
that.
that's,
So-
and we do have.
Well,
those.
yeah, I would have done.
Well, and our whole camp was the whole camp.
Okay.
Right? And we ended up volunteering all over the place. We didn't record any of it except
Right.
for April. April's on track. She's
Okay.
on the ball. But we wanted help. We just didn't know anything about it. So
Right.
I think it's more of an education problem than anything else. But I also agree, I would rather pay for my ticket than spend 35 hours, right? To his point, right, you're not incentivizing people enough to want them to do that, right?
Yeah.
And I would much rather, I would spend 20 hours and get a ticket,
Mhm.
but I'm not gonna spend 35 hours.
It's a
There's
lot.
no way. To me, my time is my most valuable
Right.
thing in my life, and so
Yeah.
you gotta make it valuable, and his point is exactly spot on. We're bringing a whole bunch of new people this year, and we're gonna try and make all of them volunteer, at least
Yeah.
some, not necessarily for the ticket, but it's the point that service is something that actually brings something back to yourself more than it gives to others. And and I'm a huge fan of that, but I had no idea before I went. Right? We just met Jared, what, a couple months before Element 11 last year. And,
Which Jared?
And he hooked us all, right? But a whole camp.
Yeah, because I mean, the idea is to give back to community. I mean, I keep hearing all this incentivize, money, 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 but without the community, without us all putting in the time and supporting each other, we're not gonna have an event. And it's more about giving of ourselves to the community personally, because I am one of those people that work the 35 hours because I love rangering and I ranger the whole fucking time I'm there. But I mean, I get where some of you are coming from, but I have a hard time with it because I'm about wanting to give to the community. I love having this event. I love doing this. I love seeing your faces out there and being able to go out and help where I am needed to help build the community.
But that's because you've drank the Kool-Aid and you're invested.
Dude, I drank no Kool-Aid. It's because I have a heart.
Listen,
I have a heart.
The newbies haven't drank the Kool-Aid yet. Like the newbies, they don't even know if they're coming the second year, right? So it's the newbies that
there is a solution.
1 year.
We just need to try some stuff.
Right.
Yeah, we're taking this feedback.
Almost everybody that is a volunteer in this room has done more than 40 hours in a year. I'm not talking about
We're talking about the newbies.
We're talking about how do we get the people, the second year camp that's bringing a bunch of volunteers that says, hey, you know what, pay for your ticket, sign up for 20 hours, and you're gonna get reimbursed. Boom, there's your 20, there's your hours right there.
But Matt, I would rather have 10 people sign up for 2 hours than one person sign up for 40 hours. Like, that's just really unsustainable.
100%. But last year, like at Greeters, when we went over to work our Greeter shift, Emily and Paris had been there for 12 hours straight. And the relief didn't show up, and they were still working it. So it's like, we cannot let that happen because then we lose us. We start to lose us. The people that are doing, this is 15 years from me, right? I've been volunteering since the second year. I absolutely love it. I can't get enough of it. I start doing everything for the ranch now. Like, this is what, I live for this stuff. Because I love community more than anything. I love this community. I love the people around this community. I love the families in this community. So I want everybody else to feel that.
We all want the same thing, which is sustainability.
Right.
We all want this to continue.
Right.
We
So
all want this to
we
work.
gotta get our newbies a reason. We gotta give them a reason, and the reason is show up for the first year, come play, see what we do next year. This is what we want from you. And we're gonna give it back to you. Because this is really what everything about Burning Man from the very beginning for me has been giving it back. When I met the founders, when I met Marion, when I met Larry Harvey, when I met Topher and I, we basically met all those people 1 year, and it was one of the best conversations I ever had. Was they did it because they loved it.
They really
That's why we're here.
That's right. You guys don't get paid. You
No.
guys beat the crap out of yourself doing this shit.
There's no harm in trying something new and seeing how it works out and, adjusting from there, so.
Yeah, so I think we're just.
I love that. I love that response.
We gotta try something new.
That response is what gets us to keep having these same circling arguments, right? Because the reason why we keep saying the same thing is because we just don't feel heard. But that response is what gets us now saying, we feel heard, let's move on. That's the response we'd love to hear, by the way. Thank you.
The worst thing that we want, let me phrase it this way. What we want to avoid is any sort of stagnation and being stuck in sort of like, oh, this is how it's always been done, and it works.
And we don't want to do
and
that.
it works for us, but it may not be the best way.
We've been having these arguments since 2014. And that's why we're saying these things, because we've had these arguments since 2014. And we're just tired of beating ourselves over and over.
Let's try some new stuff.
Let's do it.
That's what we'd love to hear. And now we can move on, right? Because now we feel heard.
Yeah, I just can't do it alone. I need you. Like, I need the community.
At least one of the newer people on the board, I just want, it's a back and forth discussion. Like, I also want you to understand how we're thinking about it as well, and what basis we have to help bring all this information full circle to see what we can change and what may not be able to be changed. But we want to change if it makes it better for the community.
Yeah.
So
I love that.
As a reminder, there is
You
an
guys are
open
awesome.
board position, so if you're wanting to do some change within the board.
Amen.
Yeah, you know, I fell for that Kool-Aid
I
too.
can tell you a lot of people don't want to serve on the board, but the majority of people do want to serve.
Right.
So if we can coordinate more services and more positions that don't require people to be on the board.
We do, we have lots of cabinet
will be a lot
places
better
too.
I actually have some great news for you. We've been throwing it out, doing a volunteer committee, and it would be maybe 3 or 4 people that would kind of meet with me maybe once a month or more frequent than that leading up to the event, and just kind of brainstorming what volunteers need, what we can do to maybe get people more excited about it, do some educational things, that kind of stuff. And these people, I think we'll probably make a post about it pretty soon. We'll talk about it at our next board meeting, but tomorrow. But it would be a free ticket for this year, whoever's on the committee. So that's like 3 or 4 positions available. And it's pretty low commitment. You just gotta come with some good ideas, and you also have to kind of know about the volunteer program and like what departments we have, and just kind of like know your community, just so you can like offer some good pieces of,
I don't necessarily need a ticket, but I do want to come talk to you as center camp stuff about like that whole process and get some stuff between us just ironed out, because there's a lot of issues that like just not communicated across very well that need to get resolved. So
yeah. So like, what about more think tank incubators that happen monthly where people are invited to?
Let's go
And
get a drink and talk about shit.
Yeah.
We're always here, so I mean,
I would love to see every one of your departments have 1 to 4 think tank incubators per year that invites anybody and their dog to come, and it has nothing to do with any other department besides that. You're going to see a ton of engagement.
Yeah, because I want everybody to feel like this is their community, because it is.
Yeah.
I want you to feel like, you got your people here and like you're doing stuff because.
Well, you guys have support, believe it or not, you really do.
I know.
You just need to coordinate that.
Yeah, and that's like,
right?
So we'll make a post about it, see who applies, and go from there. But
Yeah, because we love you. We all love you. We want to
love you
alleviate
too.
all this stress. We do.
Yeah.
Well, and to be clear too, we are not picking on you guys.
No.
No.
Even if you
You
were.
guys just happen to sit in front of
Whatever,
us.
man.
We should do a circle instead of this, right? Because then no one knows who's on the board, and everyone's just talking.
That's so funny.
Hey, sometimes critical feedback is needed, and as long as it's constructive critical feedback, then it is what it is.
Yeah, we're not picking on you guys. Absolutely.
No,
not.
I don't feel that at all.
We just see the problem.
You're passionate, we get it.
Well, then that means you don't love me, Matt, if you're not picking on me.
Well, I'll pick on you.
That's toxic. Okay, I think that's pretty much everything for volunteers, unless there's any other questions or comments, concerns, anything like that.
And thanks for showing up and speaking up.
Yeah, thank you for.
That's why we do it in person, right?
This is all being recorded too, so if you have anybody that wasn't able to attend, it'll be on YouTube to be able to watch.
My name's Eric, Operations Director. Most of the stuff that I do is just behind the scenes with like Google Drive and just getting all the things ready for the year. We did upgrade our internet last year at the ranch for the whole Element 11 to, I know some people might not like it, but it is Starlink. It does serve its purpose a lot better for what we need. We had a false threat come in last year to where if we didn't have good internet, we wouldn't have been able to see that. Obviously it was false, nothing happened, so that was a good thing for us. But we do want to look into doing a mesh system to where it can help center camp with their internet things. So I want to bring in a facilitator, meaning someone that could set up, pre-event and after event, and do a whole mesh system just for Element 11 reasons. That will be a position that will be coming up soon.
And we also still have, I think the guy, Darren will also be willing to help out too.
So if you have any ideas, you can email me at Eric at, just set it up.
Wi-Fi setup?
Pretty much, yeah. Alright, you're hyped.
If you're interested, connect with Eric after we break out.
That's it
But
for me.
you gotta do it sober.
Yeah.
You don't have to be sober to do that.
You gotta be sober.
Forgets the password.
Right.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Or changes it.
Shut up.
Forgets where he leaves
yeah.
the satellite.
Has anyone got any questions for me?
Talk to me after.
Okay.
Yeah, not.
I guess this is where we do our Q&A. If anyone's got any other questions, concerns.
Yeah, happy to take questions. And then also, if anybody didn't get a raffle ticket, come up here. We'll do that, and we'll have Eric pull out a name in a few minutes. Just want to make sure everyone got one. Here.
Want my spit?
Take a few minutes, think about other stuff.
I have a pen. I can grab your pen.
So I have a question on operation with the Wi-Fi communication. Are you saying that with better Wi-Fi out there, we're going to have a more central stream of knowledge hub where volunteers and the organization itself are getting those daily communications, in one central place?
Yes.
Yes,
That is the hope.
Yeah, that's the hope. And it wouldn't be for everyone to use because that will just slow down the whole system. But it's just for the event itself and hoping for it to be, pre-event and after event. That way, a lot of builders come in before and stay later, and there's no way for outside communication.
Well, because, I look at it like, so we only had we're running 150 people camps, and we had budget managers, and we had these years where rain's coming. It's
always better next year.
But what we found is, as long as we've got Wi-Fi for all of our people, and we're on like Signal or some sort of platform that has a hub, right? We can get the information out to our camp instantly. Hey, storms are coming. Locked down. This is happening. Now, when those storms came, right, and nobody could leave their camp, it was all raining, right? We were all coordinating in between camps because of Wi-Fi, right? Like, hey, who needs what? What's going on here? So it's like, so what you're saying is, if I'm not mistaken, is we're going to have something like that at Element 11 with better Wi-Fi and more of a communication board
for the event, yes.
For the people that are involved in the event.
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, because you got to remember last year when those storms came through.
Yeah.
What happened? We relied on you guys. We relied on us to go out and try and get the information out. It didn't happen fast enough, right?
Right. And most likely it's still not going to happen fast enough with an internet because nobody's sitting on their phone half the time.
Well, yeah, but you can put alerts.
So, but we send out rangers.
They're not sitting on their phone, but believe it or not, their phone's somewhere in their pocket.
Yeah, mine's.
Well, I also think if we link it in, so big camps, like
start
the leads of the big camps on their iPads, because I know Chase walked around with all his, like somebody in their camp is always orchestrating something. If we have like an emergency alert set up where, hey, kid's missing, hey, there's a storm coming, hey,
That's
there's,
actually
whatever.
that's actually good.
That's
So,
Amber Alert.
right.
But
So
with sharing that camp lead needs to make sure they're not sharing it with the rest of their camp. That's
exactly.
Where kind of the gray
That's
area.
where it's. That's where.
There's ways. So Derek knows this, and Alex Clayton that does our Wi-Fi. The people that do Wi-Fi for festivals, they have things put in place where one device. You don't share passwords.
Yeah.
You register a device, and that device is no hand can use it, right?
That's the emergency, that's our emergency line.
We do have the technology to help alleviate, again, these fraudsters or whatever you would call them, right?
Yeah.
We have that. And keep in mind, this does circle back to, imagine sending out an announcement every single day. Hey, we still need X amount of volunteers, and those announcements get sent out to the leaders of the community that can then assimilate that back down to their pipelines, right?
Yeah.
I love that we're good. I love that we're Starlinking it.
You need
so good.
connection.
Yeah.